activists, y'all, exclusively interviewing Talib Kweli.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you so much on behalf of Zulu Nation. And who is the microphone messiah from NYC, Black Stars, Talib Kweli.
Who am I? I'm the son of Perry and Brenda Green.
Excellent. And let us know how you got started with High Tech and then Black Star.
You know, Black Star, I met Mos Def before High Tech. I met him on the streets of New York. We were freestyling together in Washington Square Park, doing events at Akira Books. When I went to college, my roommate was a dude named Divine from Cincinnati, Ohio. And so I started to visit those guys in Ohio, and I met High Tech. I was making music with High Tech as Mos was doing his raucous thing. And so I ended up doing a raucous project at the same time. And we just combined forces. I didn't really know Mos Def or High Tech that well until we started making music together. So when the world got introduced to me, Mos Def and High Tech, you know, I was just getting to know them as well. But now it's like those are my brothers.
And some of the early times and the raucous sound bombing days?
Danny Castro and Anthony Marshall started Lyricist Lounge. I was involved with Lyricist Lounge for a long time before I even got down with Raucous. Lyricist Lounge was sort of pre-Raucous for me. But when Raucous started cracking, one of the first things they did was a Lyricist Lounge album. So that's how the world got to know about Lyricist Lounge, and then it turned into a TV show, and you know, that was that.
And then Talib Kweli and High Tech. We even got the vinyl there for you.
Oh, good job. Yeah, this is Reflection Eternal. So this is an album that I got started working on before the Black Star album. But the Black Star album took precedence, and that's why High Tech is kind of all over the Black Star album. But yeah, then we came back to this.
And then with High Tech, you did a collaboration with him.
Oh yeah, this is High Tech's album. I'm on a couple songs on here. Oh, this was on Ruckus still, yeah. So yeah, this was a good album. Shout out to Young High Tech.
Hip Hop for Respect, worked with Mos Def on that.
Yeah, we worked with a bunch of artists, like 40 artists. It was, you know, rest in peace, Amadou Diallo. It was our response to police brutality in our neighborhoods. You know, I come from a generation that grew up on records like Self-Destruction, and we all in the same gang, and so my heroes made records to combat violence in the hood, and so it was natural for us to get together and make a record to address those issues.
And do you find resistance exploring what you want as a human being and an artist, and how do you overcome that?
No, I mean, anything that's worth having is a lot of resistance. So of course I find resistance, but I mean, I run towards the challenges. Challenges are great.
And Talib Kweli, Quality. There we go.
Yeah, Quality was my first solo album. Kanye West is on here, and Bilal, and Black Thought, and Pharoah Monch, and this is a good piece of work right here.
And Get By, one of the classics.
Yeah, Get By's on here. Yeah.
We got The Beautiful Struggle from the discography.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Tell us about this record and what it did for you as well.
Beautiful Struggle was my second solo release. This record got me female fans. Yeah, that's why I like this record. I had no female fans. Beautiful Struggle.
Neptunes.
I had Neptunes, I had Mary J. Blige, I had Faith Evans on it, Anthony Hamilton, Common, you know what I'm saying? Female fans. I was doing Giles Peterson's show. You know what I'm saying?
Sound bad to me.
That was great. Like, black women were showing up at my shows. Before it was just like
calling you Mr. Green.
Yeah, going great. I would show up at the hotel and they'd be like, Mr. Green is here.
And some of the greatest collabs you've ever done. You've worked with so many amazing artists.
Yeah, I have.
Some of your favorite?
Some of my favorite collabs? DJ Quick, definitely. You know, High Tech, Mos Def, my brothers.
And then when we met at Black Star, you're with Blacksmith Records. Tell us about the relationship with that and how that went for you.
Blacksmith was me, you know, it was me doing a lot of things. And we tried to do some things with Gene Gray and Strong Arm Steady, and God bless them, but it's not something I could have did by myself, so I had to get a new team.
And then Eardrum, another classic album.
Yeah, Eardrum's good. Nora Jones, that's UGK, will.i.am, Just Blaze, Madlib, P-Rock, High Tech. This album is my reference when people say, you know, sometimes my lyrics overshadow what I do, so people say, I wish I had better beats, but it's like, if you look at this, High Tech, Just Blaze, Madlib, P-Rock, will.i.am, Kanye West, I have the best beats on the planet.
And some of your favorite times in the studio you like to reflect?
I got to go to the studio with Dr. Dre recently, that was interesting.
Aftermath, yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Excellent. And then Gutter Rainbows. Another crazy album. Let us know about that. Really dope.
Gutter Rainbows. Gutter Rainbows was the start of Javoti Media, which was my company that I started after Blacksmith Music. Gutter Rainbows was my first album outside of the industry. So it's very special to me.
And then Prisoner of Conscious.
Prisoner of Conscious was my second album outside of the industry. Prisoner of Conscious was an album that took a long time to make. It's an album I'm very proud of. I toured the world with it. Got to work with a lot of great artists. J. Cole produced on it. Kendrick's a feature, Currency, Miguel, Nelly. Nelly did a wonderful job. My favorite Nelly verse of all time is on that album.
Okay, let's get into Gravitas.
Yeah, man, Gravitas is dope as shit. Yeah.
Beautiful record. It's like a blue cover, right?
Yes,
I seen it in Seattle when I was.
Gravitas started, so Gutter Rainbow started Javoti Media.
Right.
Gravitas started Kweli Club. Kweli Club is my store. You go to, you get all my music, you get books, you get art, you know. Spinelec, you know, sells his wares. He makes little wooden miniatures of horses that we sell at Kweli Club.
One of your greatest moments with Jay Dilla?
My greatest moment with Jay Dilla was being at Jay Dilla's house working on music, and the Grammys were on. And Common was nominated, and the Roots were nominated for records that Jay Dilla produced, but he wasn't there at the Grammys. He was in Detroit working on new music with me. And he had a house with a big ass couch and a big ass TV, and the Grammys were on, and his records were nominated, but he didn't care. He was in the basement with Kareem Riggins and myself, like digging through crates, making beats. So that was a great moment.
A little bit about Quality and the beautiful struggle, Dave New York.
Are you asking me about Dave New York?
Just the homie, you know what I'm saying? Because I was listening about Quality, or I believe it was Eardrum, when you were in the back of the car and you were previewing songs. That's when I interviewed him. So we go.
Shout out to Dave New York. That's one of my best. Dave New York is one of my best friends in the world. And, he's a very good guy.
Excellent. And then now we're at Train of Thought, Lost Lyrics, Rare Releases, and Beautiful B-Sides.
Yeah, that's just me. You know, why can't I get paid off my music? You know what I'm saying? Fuck the money being released like now. Right? Today, Styles P, Miguel, and Patrick Stone. My man Casper Nyaset from South Africa. I just call him Casper. Casper, if I said it wrong, forgive me, brother. I'm not Angel Hinsberg. I don't know that language y'all be speaking. Kendra Ross, Nico Is, and you know, it's a good project. I do songs that don't necessarily fit like the boom bap hip hop with the sample based hip hop and stuff like that. And I try to put those on my projects, and people, my fans, don't always appreciate them. They don't see where I'm going with it. And I feel like I'm very talented at making all types of music. So this album is something me experimenting with different types of styles of music. But because I'm experimenting, I don't expect you to pay for it. So I give it out for free. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this will open a new door. So if people really like this project, then that opens the door for me to do more experimentation that you can pay for, and then I can get paid.
And one of the biggest rallies that you've attended or been involved with, Revolutionary Memories?
Oh shit. I went to see Al Sharpton speak when I was 14 years old. He was talking about Tawana Broadley at City Hall, Brooklyn City Hall. That was memorable.
And also an advocate for Malcolm X?
Fuck yeah! Malcolm, you know, that's my hero. Yeah, Malcolm X that's the blueprint right there.
And then from the People's Champion Tour, you brought Nico Is. And I've seen him in Seattle, an incredible MC.
Nico is an incredible MC. Nico is an incredible MC. He's from Brazil, born in Brazil and raised in Orlando. We're actually headed out, after I do this little run in British Columbia, I'm headed to Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. Sao Paulo.
Talk about music.
Talk about music, jam.
And you toured with Beastie Boys?
I did tour Beastie. I toured this area of the planet with Beastie Boys.
Amazing. Any memories you could reflect on that with MCA?
Yes, man. Shout out to MCA, man. He's a beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. He was the heart of the Beastie Boys. He was the foundation. You know, RP MCA. You know, Beastie Boys. It was Bob's Amazing Mongrels. It was a dog show. Like the dogs come out, they do flips and circus tricks. Bob's Amazing Mongrels. Then it was me. Then it was the Beastie Boys. What? Right. I had to go on after the dogs. Like, the Beastie Boys tour was great.
And then what can we expect from Radio Silence?
You know what? I'm gonna have to fight James Blake because I heard that he's gonna name his album Radio Silence. So now we have that boxing match for the title of the album. So James Blake is on. I expect to see you in the ring, son. We're gonna fight for the title of the album.
The largest crowd and the best tour that you've ever rocked?
The largest crowd I ever rocked was Jay-Z when he got mad at R. Kelly on the Best of Both Worlds tour, and they kicked R. Kelly off. And then what they did was he invited a bunch of his friends to come and rock in R. Kelly's place. And I happened to be one of those people, and I rocked the Meadowlands and with Jay-Z. I rocked the Meadowlands with Jay-Z, and then I rocked the Meadowlands when me and High Tech released Revolution Per Minute. We did Hot 97 Summer Jam. So the Meadowlands is my biggest crowd.
And how many people?
That's 50,000 fit in there. So around that.
And one of your best hip-hop memories that you've been part of or contributed to?
One day I was walking down the street in Santa Monica, and Rakim pulled up next to me in an MPV van. And he said, "Kweli, get in." And I got in. And he told me how much he liked me as an MC. And we chopped it up for like 5 minutes. We drove around Santa Monica for like 5 minutes, and he dropped it back off. Amazing. I got kidnapped by Rakim. He threw me in a creepy kidnap van. Get in.
One of your favorite places to tour in the world?
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Excellent.
Jam.
And anything?
Puerto Rico.
Oh. And anything say to your fans worldwide?
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Excellent. And you got any shouts?
Shout out to God. Jam.
And shouts to Talib Kweli and Donna. And
shout out to Donna. Donna doesn't get enough shout outs.
She deserves a shout out.
Dragoda. Donna Dragoda. Francesco Rinaldi. Prego. It's in there. Sorry.
And Blueprint Live and Collab. And this is The Archivist, and you have been archived.
I have been archived, though. I have been archived.
Yes. You've been archived.